I shouldn't be admitting this, but saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
Look, yo. Today we got a nice show. We're gonna be talking about Fresh and Fit going getting demonetized. What that means for us. A newer channel, we are not thinking about something like this. We're not even close to being monetized. We have 15 subscribers, got minimum views, but that is something we have to look at in the future. So as far as looking to that in the future, that's saying we have to look at other platforms that we're going to be joining, the jobs we currently have, how that's going to be affected by the opinions that we have, the perspectives, and how that may affect our own bag. OJ is no victim to that. Darnell, and so is Mel, and myself especially. So we have to take that into account as we review this content. This is something we're going to be doing a little bit in the future as well, reviewing other content creators' content, whether we agree with it, whether we disagree with it, and it's going to be called the deep takes. So you may see one of us, you may see two of us, but as far as that goes, it's going to be something we see in the near future. Without further ado, we're going to get into this content. Thank y'all for joining us. Um, let's go ahead and get into it.
And then I'll never forget, I get an email November 14th, Internal Affairs. Hey, we need you to come in for an interview. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go, right? And I'm working at the government, sitting at my desk, writing up a report, and I see this email. Yeah. And this is 2020 November. And I, I go, I let my supervisor know, hey, I got to go up to, the Internal Affairs office, right? Because it's not at the same building as us. And, I go over there and they take my phone. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what's going on here? And then, hey, we're part of an internal investigation. Next day I meet up with the special agent in charge. And they tell me, hey, it has to do with your YouTube. And right there, it clicked. I was like, wait, hold on. Okay. They probably think that I'm recording videos on my phone. Like, that's what it is, which it was a fucking iPhone 6 or 7. It was a piece of shit. And what ended up happening is I had to make a really tough decision that month. I remember going back and forth, trying to negotiate, trying to figure out what we're going to do. They're like, no, you have to pick one. You have to either, you're going to be a YouTuber or you can be a special agent of Homeland, but you're not going to do both. And I had to make that decision. I remember you were there. Yeah. We had Andrew here. And I was like, well, we got people working for us now. There's people that depend on us. You had to pretty much quit your gig. So I was like, all right, I'm going to resign. And I walked in December 5th, turned in all my stuff. And I walked away from the U.S. government. It was a good.
He's kind of like talking about where we are starting at. And I mean, we're not there where we're making tons of content where you have to choose between your job and this, but when you are making content and you might be saying some things that may not agree with your workplace, I can see how that's a tough decision.
And to piggyback off what you're saying, yes, it is a tough decision because on one hand, you got the stability, you already got a 6-figure job, you got health insurance, you probably got a family you got to think about, and then this one you got your passion, like you done build something up from scratch, and you're helping people. You got a network of people beneath you, beside you, maybe even above you. And in this case, he had YouTube above him here, he had the government above him here, and he had to decide which is the better of both, which is the better evil to deal with. Like, I can either go work with YouTube and have a little bit more freedom, or I can stay with the government and they're basically giving me a choice. Now, like, people can say the same thing like relationships. Like, you don't like people giving you ultimatums. Like, either you can go be with them or you can be with us. What you gonna do? Like, oh, you giving me a choice? Okay, I don't want to be with you. That's the way the relationship's gonna continue to be.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where he was left right there. And I also think they may have saw that money where they could be in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, like, okay, let's take this risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's take this risk. People believe in us. Let's at least believe in ourselves enough to take that risk. And that's what they did.
And it sucks, guys. It really does suck. Fortunately, we made some moves, etc. And we kind of knew that the type of content that we make, for us to be able to give you this content, we have to.
It comes at a cost.
It comes at a cost, dude.
And it won't be here forever.
Yeah. And
we knew that going
Fresh
into
always said this, enjoy us while you can.
Yeah. They thought we was capping, man.
Yeah.
They thought it was a joke.
And we made moves on the side knowing that this could potentially happen. And guys, we the channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program. Just keep it straight with
If you
y'all.
look right now, you can't even super chat or
You can't even super chat right now.
So right there, when they say they get kicked off the YouTube partner program, that's not a permanent thing. That's kind of like YouTube saying like, hey, you are not aligning with what we're aligning to, so we got to punish y'all in some way, shape, or form. And by them losing partnership, like I said, it's temporary. They can apply for it later on. So having this big outcry of saying they got demonetized, yeah, it's a big deal because they, like you said, they number one will get the number one in super chats, having one of the best podcasts on the network right now. But YouTube is sending a message to them like, hey, y'all need to really look at what y'all doing because y'all are sending people over to Rumble. Y'all have a little bit more freedom on Rumble, but what y'all are doing on Rumble is bleeding over to YouTube now. You see the same thing with Charleston White. You saw the same thing when they brought Nick Fuentes up. It's way bigger picture than just them getting demonetized. It's the message that they're sending on other platforms. Like I said, it's bleeding over. Them wearing Klan masks and then calling people in where with the hard R, calling Preach from Outer and Preach a monkey. Them talking about his wife and like things like that. The hate speech saying they don't like black women. They don't claim to be black or Fresh or Fit doesn't claim to be black. You know what I'm saying? But they still it's just the atmosphere, the negativity that it was bringing, and that's why they pivoted so much to go to Rumble because I think like he said he saw the writing on the wall. They had to pivot.
Well, I mean, this kind of first off, I want to say I believe in free speech. I believe you can say whatever if you want to say racial slurs, if you want to say whatever, you can say it. But when you on a platform that's not your own, unless it says www.yourplatformname.com or .org, whatever organization or whatever you want to put on it, like that. There's a separation between you getting demonetized and you being stripped away from all of the hard work you put in. Now, I do not agree on how they got their content, right? I don't know. We're still, like you said, we're still early in our YouTube journey, in our video making journey, podcast journey, whatever you want to call it. But I don't want to get to the point where we're degrading people to make our money. I don't want to get to the point where we are saying we're still, because that's not us. Like we say a bunch of funny stuff that we can say amongst each other, but when it comes down to like tearing people down in the public eye, when you have a big following like that, I never want to get to that point. I'll just stop making content altogether.
I agree with you on that. Being polarized, and there's ways to go about doing it, but at somebody else's expense, that's a problem. Their thing was they were doing it at somebody else's expense, but it was a double-edged sword where the women that they were doing that to were also making money from that because in previous episodes it was shown that the OnlyFans women were showing their results after being on the show. Hundreds of subscribers, thousands of subscribers right after the show. You know what I'm saying? So it was a double-edged sword.
But and the thing is that you guys know, right, on this pod, we push the edge, right? We push the envelope. We're not gonna lie about that. Like we give you guys the real deal when it comes to getting in shape, when it comes to
money, girls,
dating, improving yourself, etc. And unfortunately, to be able to give people real advice that they can take in real life and apply to the real world, you have to have uncomfortable conversations about uncomfortable topics in uncomfortable times. Guys, it's about to be an election year. You know what I mean? We're talking about certain points, and we've brought up certain points that might not be politically correct, right? That might not necessarily align with everyone's viewpoints, right? And we've worked really hard to bring people on that have different viewpoints, right? Some of them very controversial.
I don't think it's a political thing that got them demonetized. Like I said,
you see how he tried. He
tried to weasel that in there. It wasn't a political. Who you having up on the show? It's. I mean, that is part of it. Who you
100%. It's part of it.
Like them having people that's already been banned off of YouTube on the show played a part in that. Yeah. But also like y'all were sponsors to things. the way y'all respond to people's reaction videos, the way y'all the racism that plays a role in why y'all got demonetized.
Man,
It wasn't just y'all political views because it's plenty examples of people being far left and far right that's on still monetized on YouTube. Candace Owens,
still
Stephen
would do
Crowder,
it.
he got demonetized for a bit, but then he got his channel back. So
I mean, once again, you talking about doing something that you want, to do, you are on YouTube, and I've seen some really dark stuff on YouTube. I mean, I went to some. I mean, YouTube, at least back in the day, you used to click stuff and you used to find the most crazy stuff on YouTube. But now, when it comes down to making money, you we are in a PC culture, and I feel like we are moving away from it. We can talk about that in different pod, but we are moving away from having to be so PC. But like when you knocking everybody down and you talking about other people, when you doing blatant racism over the course of time, and then you bragging about like, yeah, we're untouchable, like we at the top.
exactly,
It's kind of what you like. Okay, we'll show you.
because it's the other thing that people have to realize
Yeah.
when you partner with YouTube, they're basically you basically have to align with YouTube's brand, the guidelines, their bylaws, everything like that that they come out with. If your brand doesn't align with theirs, they're gonna take that partnership away. You work for YouTube. You are an employee for YouTube. You don't.
Yep.
That's you have a channel. They are allowing you to have a channel. But if you're gonna get paid for that channel, if you're gonna have that channel, you have to still be within the confines of what they go for. So yes, you can go over to Rumble and have that freedom of speech that you so much want, but also have to understand that yes, freedom of speech is free, but it comes with consequence that pays.
Man, yeah, man. I wish you would have said it comes with a cost. Man, you was there.
Oh no, no, freedom of speech is free, but it comes with consequence that costs.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Pays costs.
You had a bar there. I mean, for you to be around, you had a bar.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was close. No, but, no, but yeah, I 100% agree with you, man.
Let's continue.
Even other platforms, look at Rumble. They're taking a huge beating on the stock market.
Yeah.
I mean, they're up.
Despite having one of the best years for
Revenue.
and for views and everything. And
So this comes at a cost, no matter who you are, company, individual, creator.
Yep.
And a lot of you guys want to be aspiring RB creators as well, and I respect that. But just know, at a certain level, it will cost you a price you got to pay. And I think me and Myron understand this, and we were saying, you know what? At some point, we're gonna have to deal with this price, and today's the day.
Yeah. What I'm asking you guys is, just like we've saved you guys, we need you guys to save us. We need you guys to support us on Rumble, because that's the last bastion of free speech at this point.
Yeah.
Rumble.com/freshandfit, guys. Like, you need to go on there right now, follow the channel, subscribe. It's $5 a month, because if you guys want us to keep making this content, that's what it's going to be. And we've worked really hard to try to
keep it free,
as long as possible, man.
On YouTube,
like
accessible.
You guys know this. We don't sit here and pitch courses to y'all every month.
So this is another point of contention that people was having. YouTube didn't remove them from posting videos. Like, the videos are still up. They're on live right now. So is it really just about the money?
Yeah.
Because YouTube.
I mean, that's the way they can keep their studio up. That's the way they're not making any more money. So demonetization is not just from their up to date videos. It's from all previous videos. So if someone wants to go back and look at a video that has millions of views or that catch fire, then they don't get any money from that. They just get regular views.
It's not that they can't post videos. If it's really about the people that you want to help, okay, you can get your monetization back. Just keep posting videos, help these people out that you're saying are going to maybe self-delete themselves, and keep helping the community, and worry about the money a little bit later. Like, you still got your Rumble money, you still got your locals money, you still got your Cash App, you got your PayPal, whatever. You're still making money, and you should already had a reserve account to where your employees, the 20 employees that you worry so much about, can still get paid until you get monetized again.
And I'm not trying to knock anybody from any kind of self hurt, right? You save as many people as you can, but I've never looked at their content as like, oh man, this is helpful.
Yeah,
I've always looked at it as being some form of entertainment. And I think the guys that they end up helping, man, are the guys that I necessarily don't align with anyways. I preach masculinity. I don't preach degrading women, even if they are in sex work. I don't necessarily agree with that, man. I don't a lot of stuff like the way they talk to women, and I feel like, man, I've never talked to a woman like that. Even in a angry setting, I've never talked to a woman like the way they talk to women. To me, it's ugly.
I understand where you're coming from. I haven't spoke. I can't even really call a woman a bitch. To be honest, like
Yeah,
it's
I
just
can't
not.
either.
It's not in me. It's like ways you talk to people, ways you don't talk to people.
Yeah,
It's a reason why I've only been hit by a woman once in my life. It's a reason for that. Because it's the way I
I've
carry
been
myself. It's the way
I've
they.
been beat.
Yeah, you.
I've been beat, but
We'll
that's,
talk
y'all.
about
That's
that
another.
last one.
Listen, I'm letting
That's
y'all
another
know
subject. That's another subject. We're gonna have to
it
talk about
wasn't my fault. All right, but it was though. It
it. It's
was.
about your
Anyway,
fault.
It's gotten to the point now where even where we shoot the location doesn't want us to stay here.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fucking have to say that shit. I really didn't want to have to admit that. I wanted to just move the studio, surprise you guys. Yo,
Yeah.
new studio. It's lit.
You heard what they were saying, right?
yeah,
Where they're currently filming at is under contention as well.
yeah. You can't do that, man. You can't. You gotta. You have to network. You have to. You can't be so high and mighty where you can do anything, any and everything that you want to without creating some foundation of support. If you're in an apartment or what that's what they're currently at, in an apartment right now.
Yeah,
And it's
condo.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, a condo. It's like, hey, if you're not buying this condo,
I
then
think he did.
they bought it.
Yeah, he owns that one.
Well,
But the
I
thing
mean,
is,
even a complex, you still got to pay a HOA.
exactly. That's what I was gonna get into.
Yeah, you
Because
still got to pay a HOA. So you still like even my crib, you can only do so much to it. Like, I own it, but what I mean, I can't paint my house blue. Like,
it's not even that though. It's not even that. It's the fact that they got people coming in and out of the complex constantly. So
yeah,
it's a lack of security in the building now.
yep,
It's people fighting,
yep,
people bringing guns in, knocking doors off. They got
yep.
a security card up in there. It's a safety factor now. And then also now you're using the place for what it's not intended for.
Yeah,
It's not just a living space anymore. It's also your business. Now
yeah,
some places are cool with that, like, but this is an apartment complex or a condo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you got people above you and below you. They got to hear this potentially.
yep,
A lot of factors that go into that. It's not just like you're living in a neighborhood. Like, I live in an HOA neighborhood. I
yeah,
can have parties every now and then.
yeah.
It was one time I had a party and the neighbors decided to call the cops for something that wasn't even my fault, or something that my party was doing. It was somebody in the neighborhood, but she just
Yeah.
assumed it was from my residence, which wasn't the case.
It's one of those things, man. I mean, you get into a place, you kind of gotta like you can't as we continue to grow, or I'll say in their case, as they continue to grow, they didn't handle the outside. They should have talked to the
They
HOA
probably
and say, hey,
did.
this is what we're doing. You said what?
Maybe they did. Maybe,
Maybe they
yeah,
did. Like I said, but it kind of felt like they're playing victim a little bit.
yeah. But see, the thing is, right? It's the way you handle these things as business as I'm learning. You word things differently to the person you're. It's not that you're deceiving them, but you have to voice it differently. You can't just be straight up honest and saying like, "Hey, this is gonna be a nightclub. I'm doing this for a
Yeah,
nightclub." Because like in
yeah,
Virginia, they ain't going for that. They ain't
yeah.
going for it. You say it's gonna be a nightclub, it's a wrap.
Hookah spot.
No, you can't even say it's a hookah spot. You gotta say this is gonna be a restaurant. You have to say it's gonna be a
Mm,
restaurant.
that's wild.
You have
Okay,
to say it's
makes
gonna be a
sense.
restaurant. You make it a
Makes sense.
restaurant, they cool with it. Whether you're gonna have people late at night, that's up to you. But it's still a restaurant. It's not specifically meant for a nightclub. Because
Gotcha.
when you say nightclub, they automatically gonna stereotype it and say that, okay, you bring in a crowd that we don't want here because you're gonna scare our other the tenants away
Business owners, yeah,
or,
from
or
the yeah,
risk their business, which is gonna cause a problem. Same thing within the HOA. So it's very wide spectrum. So they are in this condo having this problem. Someone else
Mhm.
probably trying to rent out to the people across the way, and they're like, I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to lease here anymore because every other day they got somebody getting kicked out or screaming in the hallway, drunk, hide up, and everything. So it's
Yeah.
a lot that goes to it.
And it's okay. I'm never gonna say, "Oh, well, I'm doing this, blah blah blah," and I hate doing this. I love doing this. I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't say I didn't love doing this. I left a job that I truly loved to do this, right? Because I shouldn't be admitting this, but saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
I think he had the hoochie daddy shorts on.
Man.
God,
Yes.
but bro, hold on. Let me
Oh
get this
yeah.
straight. Let me get this straight. So he said saving children was great, but saving you all is better.
A lot of people would disagree with that,
Yeah, I disagree with that.
but he didn't say I didn't like saving children.
Yeah, yeah.
I see the clip I had seen. I had seen this clip. Yeah, he had said that, and it's just like children. I still prefer saving children's their innocence. People. I mean, but it's his preference. So I don't want to judge too hard on what he meant by it. It sound like he just I don't know. Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
know he didn't mean anything negative about it. Like he basically what I got out of that is he prefers to help men uh, realize their potential more than help rescue human trafficked children. Or that's what I got out of that. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot easier job. I can tell you that you're not out there in that field potentially getting run into bad people that meant to do you harm. So I
Yeah.
would say mentally, it's a better job because now you're just talking to people. You're
You're
waking them
talking.
up to.
Not only that, but like imagine giving up your entire life to support people that you care about.
Oh man, that's weak, bro. That's so weak, bro. They're not giving up their life. This is they creating a new. They they shifted over their life. It's not giving up your life for something. I feel like it's giving up something that you wanted to do for something that you have to do. And like this, like it's a weird one, man. Because I feel like purpose and what you have to do and what you're making money for, they would not bat an eye if this was for their purpose, right? They wouldn't bet an hour about the money. They'll say, oh, "We're still doing this on YouTube. We're still giving y'all free content. Support us a different way on YouTube."
I agree with that. I agree with
Yeah,
that wholeheartedly.
yeah, and that's why it's kind of weird for me that it's coming out so genuine. It's like, yeah, you because you were making bank off of YouTube. You were making a ridiculous amount of money, and yeah, you probably can't support your team the same way. But if your team is down for you the same way, you would go
Mhm.
back to how y'all first started with those 100 views and redo it a different way. Simple as that.
And I agree with that too. But it's also like this, right? You wouldn't have this problem. I would if we were getting monetized off of YouTube in the
Mm-hmm.
same way that they kind of did it too, where they weren't, or Myron was doing it at least. He was getting the money, he was reinvesting it into the podcast, reinvesting it into the podcast, reinvesting it into the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I would basically almost go that same route, except that you gotta have, like I said, you gotta have those reserves. You gotta have not necessarily savings, but you have to have an account where when situations like this does happen, you have people on your payroll, or you have to have mercy fund for things just like this. You wouldn't have to worry about begging. Oh,
Yeah.
please come support us on Rebel. It's $5 a month. Please, just please come do something. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
No, like, and especially like he said, I hate to do this, but they preach masculinity. I mean, you got pride, put your pride aside, but begging, begging,
Begging, man. Yeah.
begging. Oh no, bro, I can't even see myself begging. I can't.
I mean,
I can't do it.
asking for help is
Asking for
one
help.
thing, and I wish they kind of did, but it kind of switched over to begging. I do agree with you. It went from
Yeah.
like, hey, like you said, if they had a savings account, I've seen a lot of YouTubers just move over to Rumble. Like, okay, boom, we over here at Rumble now, and this is where we at. It wasn't begging. It's like, hey, it's like, pretty much like you normally do. Come support the
Yeah,
channel, come over to Rumble, and that's it. But just begging, and then I I do believe that a man can cry, but that statement of how it just interact, it's just weird, man. It don't come off genuine to me. It don't come off like you really trying to help the people.
For anyone saying that this is fake, this is not fake at all. This is genuine. Generally how we feel about what's happening, and like all the work that we put into this. It's been like 3 years, and it's not easy because we gave up a lot, and we made a lot of impact too as well to people, but it came at a cost. And I can't say on camera everything that happened behind the scenes, but if you guys really understood what we gave up to keep doing this, when you say El Chris, El Mo, El Myro, whatever, like, you understand, at the very beginning, we were going through some terrible things, death threats, people coming at our doorstep. Like, you have no idea what we went through to keep this going. And then to be not told why we're being taken off the platform like that in the program is kind of crazy, because putting a lot of work, man. So I just mean,
see, that's very disingenuous for him to say after
Yeah.
he just said the reason why they're getting taken off the platform or getting kicked out of the condo. You literally just said it. You literally just said it.
Just said it, man. It's as I said. It don't. I think one of my gifts is I can tell genuosity. I know when I'm genuine. I know when other people can know when I'm not being genuine. They're not being
Yeah.
genuine. It's like, once again, I said, it's like, hey, if you really want to make some money, like if you really want to keep, I'll say, if you really care about the people, you will continue to do it for free, and guarantee your supporters will follow. Your supporters will support you any other way to know that you're doing it for free. And even going to Rumble is not a bad thing. Going to Rumble
Right.
is not a bad move, but it's just how you're coming off right now in this end of an era type ordeal. It's not genuine, man. Yeah, it's money, man.
reach out for your support, man. That's it.
Sorry, I got something in my eye. Yeah, I mean, guys, I mean, yeah, we're human, and it just sucks when something that you worked so hard to build up, they're just. And here's the thing: it's not about the money, man.
Yeah.
It really isn't about the money, man. I could walk away from all this and be okay.
Today,
What bothers me is if we're not able to be on YouTube, we might not be able to reach someone who really needs us. If you guys saw the amount of messages I get where they say I was gonna end it tomorrow,
yeah.
and I saw your video,
The question is, who else is going to do it? Who?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. So, wow, you caught the face, but it kind of cleared it up. Taking the pay cut, I think that's very executive. This is very business owner esque. So, man, I don't know. I mean, once again, I think if they continue to make YouTube content, and which I feel like they're going to make YouTube content to say, hey, listen, if you want the rest of this clip, come to Rumble. And even from there, man, I think YouTube might be like, all right, we're kicking y'all off because y'all taking people from YouTube. Why we know? So,
See, I gotta disagree with you on that last part. I agree with the first half where they make clips and then get traffic to go to Rumble. YouTube has no issue with people driving traffic to other channels like Patreon, locals, etc. It's just a matter of, are you getting enough traffic on YouTube? Like, eventually we're gonna get to a point where we'll have something like a Patreon or locals or something like that, or Discord server. People can join in, because this is like the same thing. Like, you driving traffic for people to come get your merch. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
I'll say is different because most of those people who make big content right there, they're still getting paid from YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm. And
So it's
YouTube's
just
getting paid most of that money.
Yeah, but since
Like,
they
every
not,
super chat that somebody sends,
yeah,
I think YouTube gets 30% of that, or
25%.
the
Okay,
other way around, or
okay.
it's the other way around. So YouTube's getting their money. You're not taking away from YouTube. But it's the fact is, like I said, it's the brand of YouTube. You can't ask somebody to go to Rumble and then you're wearing racist attire, or you're saying racial slurs, or you're degrading marginalized communities. You can't do that
Yeah,
because then
and it's not over the course of just one video. They've done
exactly,
this over time. That's why they had already been on Rumble for a little while, and they made
yeah.
that move because they said, hey, they said they were already prepared for it because of the stuff they had already done.
And
It's not just so free speech. Like I do not think telling young men and women to be better, to better themselves, that you don't have to go into sex work, that you what they define as being better necessarily bad, right? Telling somebody how to be
yeah,
better is not necessarily bad. It's when you do those things like you just said, and alluding to other things on even like once again, not just on YouTube, but on other content. When you make content and they point back to you on YouTube, they say, "Hey, listen, is that YouTuber making content that's racist, that's sexist, that's
exactly.
whatever the case may be?" Okay, the YouTube heard you. You're gonna kick you out.
But it's the same. Like, okay, here's another example of that, right? Just because you didn't make the content on YouTube doesn't mean you can't be punished for it.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
so like for us, like when we were in the military, we weren't at work, but we got in trouble.
100%.
It's still translated over because you'd rather be punished by the military than be punished out in civil court.
Yeah, you
I'm
said it
saying
earlier.
you rather be put on restriction than put in jail.
100%.
You rather
Like you
have
said,
half months
yeah,
pay and then having to pay some fines. But
yeah,
that's all subjective too, because if you get a DUI, that's the military. They throwing their hands up. You done. But
yeah.
there's a few YouTube creators that was also mentioned, like by Osei Du Jackson, where the dude was soliciting a teen. The dude, he got caught.
Dang.
YouTube took his channel away. Charleston White, he can't have YouTube. Andrew Tate can't have YouTube.
Mhm,
Sneeko can't have YouTube. It's a bunch of cases, and it's not something they directly did on YouTube. It's just a message that they send it overall
mhm.
that YouTube does not align with. And if YouTube doesn't align with that, you're gonna get your channel. You're gonna get demonetized. You can
Yeah,
be on YouTube
yeah,
potentially, but you're gonna either get demonetized or you're gonna get your any account that you try to create removed. And that's another thing that happened to Fresh and Fit. It wasn't just the Fresh and Fit account that got demonetized. It was their personal
it was all the
YouTube
little
too.
sub. I'm
It
saying
was
we were talking about
it was
earlier.
all
It's
this
all the little sub accounts. It's they
yeah,
have. I'm not sure if you've seen all their plaques, but each one of those is from a different YouTube channel.
yep.
They get
Meta
100,000 plus, a million subscribers on multiple channels. So, I mean, it's a lot of money over the course of multiple channels. They are losing a ton of money. So
yeah,
I I understand why they would want to beg people to come over to Rumble. But once again, if it's something you're so passionate about, yeah, you take that and you're teaching men, you take it to the chin and say, hey, listen, man, we made some mistakes. Don't throw some political, it was political or whatever. Like, no, we made some mistakes that did not align with YouTube. We said some things. They're punishing us, and we're gonna take us to the chin. We're gonna keep going. But as they did, once again, said they're gonna keep going, which I respect it. Once again, when you can't when you don't align with a company's agenda, they can kick you out.
I agree. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. I'm Cam. That's OJ. This
Just
is
man.
the deep takes. We got to just review Fresh and Fit. If you disagree or you agree with what we said, go ahead and jump in them comments. Make sure you like, subscribe to It Gets Deep podcast. So